When he woke up, he seemed to be about to have breakfast at an open-air stand, with someone preparing a banana roti for him. The man preparing his breakfast seemed to be speaking Thai, not Malay. Somehow, Cooper had passed through another space-time portal, and was now in Bangkok. As he listened, he heard the man's companion in conversation say something about Mohammed Hamri restaurant, and glance over at it. Cooper jumped up to approach him, thinking he might be Jeff Gerd himself, but his path was blocked by a crowd of women passing by. The Mohammed Hamri restaurant had been co-founded by the beat poet Brian Gibson and the writer Paul Bowles in the early 50s. The waiter brought him some sweet tea and left the bill. Glancing up, Cooper noticed a message in code on the wall opposite him, instructing him to catch the river ferry and go to a Buddhist temple named Wat Yawasas at the end of the line. Joseph Conrad described Bangkok in his novel The Shadow Line as spread largely on both banks, the oriental capital, which has yet suffered no white conqueror. Sunlight, tremendous, overpowering, almost palpable, which seemed to enter one's breast with the breath of one's nostrils, and soak into one's ribs through every pore of one's skin. Conrad had no way of knowing that a century later Bangkok and Thailand would be colonized by tourists of many shades of colour. Seeking respite from the heat, Cooper attempted to enter the Oriental Hotel, which Conrad first saw in 1888 when his ship anchored close by, and where he later stayed. It was opened in 1865 by two Danish sea captains, and until 1983 was the only hotel on the Chao Phraya River. Cooper wanted to visit the famous Authors' Wing, dedicated to the many famous writers who had stayed there: Somerset Maugham, Noel Coward, James Michener, Alex Vaughan, and John Steinbeck amongst them. But he was turned away, owing to the fact that he was wearing shorts and not long trousers. When he questioned the reason, he was told simply that children under the age of 11 were not allowed into the Authors' Wing, owing to the politically subversive nature of some of the writers' works who had stayed there. So he continued towards Wat Varanchana Yawas by river ferry. As soon as Agent Cooper stepped ashore, he realized that the Wat was no ordinary Buddhist temple. The entrance was guarded by a giant cobra snake. The temple was an animistic music school given over to the seeking of nirvana through music, singing, and cooking as meditation. The house specialities were snake rambaba and turtle tom yum. Cooper slowly made his way through the tropical plants, fruits, wild animal carvings, and rows of stiff-backed monks in ritual meditation, down towards the front of the temple. The chanting, ringing bells, beating drums, mixed with the heat, smell of incense, and Cooper's seasickness after travelling on the river ferry, soon combined to bring on a trance state in him that created visions resembling animated modernist paintings, but without the added narrative comment which always seems so necessary to accompany 21st century postmodern versions of modernism, if such a thing could exist. He saw again the dancing floors as his head filled with the swirling pop-art designs, and then visions of the goal of his interplanetary mission, the holy hibiscus and its attendant guardian flocks of giant tropical parrots. The illegal importation of tropical birds, combined with global warming and the ingenuity and adaptability of parrots in general, has led to most of northern Europe being populated with the birds. They are said to be flocks of over several thousand in some parts of London and Rome. As Agent Cooper reached out in his reverie to pick one of the giant blooms, his hallucination changed. and he dropped into something resembling a three-dimensional, moving, constructivist painting in the revolutionary colours of certain indigenous peoples who use parrots for shamanistic purposes. They claim that malaria can be cured by cutting a parrot down the middle and tying the two halves to the sole of each foot. He woke up on a bridge in what seemed like a Jacques Tati film, cars and taxis doing a last chance for a slowdown. He hailed one of the bright pink taxis and headed for his favourite restaurant in the Bang Lampu district. At the restaurant, he ordered seafood tom yum and fried morning glory, and hibiscus flowers in a garlic and chili sauce, and through the smoke of the burning cooking oil, he admired the crane parked in the narrow alleyway where the restaurant was situated, and wondered at its beauty while enjoying the activity and the smells of the cooking. As he sat there eating, he glanced at the outdoor TV screen, and suddenly and inexplicably, there was Markos Vamvakaris, a Greek Rembetika singer. His face flashed across the screen, and a message in code telling Agent Kupa to go to Syros, the Greek island home of Vamvakaris. It seems that Syros had been the holiday island of preference for Pedanius Dioscorides when he was a doctor in the Roman army. It was rumoured that it was on Syros that he had discovered the secret of the hibiscus. Kupa caught the next boat, heading for Syros in the Mediterranean, all the time wondering what had become of the monster and the dancing fool.